Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing my T1 Valorant roster rebuild. Now it's been a while since we've had one of these videos come out. I haven't uploaded in like 2 weeks or whatever. Just got caught up in life and shit. But we're going to pick up right where we left off. We just did Zeta and DFN, the Japanese teams. Now we're going to be doing T1, which should be a very interesting rebuild, I think. They're a really fun team to look at in terms of going into next year. Now they've already made their changes, and I think it's even more fun in real life considering all the Korean talent available coming from Gen G and everything like that. But in this realm or in this world, those players will not be available. So I think you're going to kind of look at maybe like the second, maybe third options after those guys, which and kind of just like maybe dig into the deep talent within Korea, which should be pretty fun. So if you guys enjoy, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Really helps me out. Go check out the past videos on this series and stay tuned for future ones. I will be doing, I think, yeah, later today. As this video is uploaded, I will be doing a player ranking stream out of all of the players that have been leaked or announced so far. So that should be pretty fun. Like as of when I make the team or make the video or whatever, and then I'll upload it. Maybe not as a full VOD, but like edited down a little bit onto this channel a little bit later. I've also been making a few videos on other channels. Like I just made one on my guides channel. Link is in the description to that. Of like a VOD review of how I won Premiere, because I won my Premiere playoffs with my friends. So if you're interested in that, go check out that channel. I make some like Premiere guides and stuff on there whenever I feel like it. But yeah, that should be it. I tweet updates about the series on Twitter, so go check that out. And yeah, whatever. Let's get right into it. Also, I'm not feeling super great today. I just need to rest until I go stream after. But yeah, I'm not going to be putting the clips that I normally put in the videos. Like, I'll just have like a clip of a player hitting some nice shots in the background or something like that when I'm talking about them. But I will not be doing that just for this video because I'm very, very tired. So that'll be back in the next video, but not quite for this one. So before we talk about what this team is going to do in 2025, we have to talk about what they did in 2024. So they brought in Rossi, Excurate, and Izu in the offseason, as well as King, who never played any games for them, I don't think. So that was a really weird situation. They ended up replacing him. But overall, a pretty good offseason, I think, from them last year. I think three pretty good contributors, specifically Rossi and Excurate. Excurate ended up taking over the IGL role, but was really good when he was playing like the chamber and opping and that kind of stuff. And then Rossi was just really solid the whole year, especially when he was playing Viper for this team. They got third, fourth at kickoff, which was around where they were expected to be, I think. Um, in terms of like the total year, maybe you could have had higher expectations for them, maybe upsetting a Paper Rex to get into one of these international tournaments or something like that. But I don't know. I didn't really have that kind of expectation for them. But then in stage one, they went 2-4, barely qualified for playoffs, got third, ended up making Shanghai. I don't think they really deserve that over some of the other Pacific teams. They went 0-2, kind of showed that at the event. Excurate had some nice moments there, but that was about all they did. And then they went 2-2 in stage two, finished with a record of 4-6, and missed the playoffs of stage two, which was kind of unfortunate for them. But also at the same time, like, I don't know, man. This team wasn't very good last year. I think they were better than their record showed, but I don't think they were like a top four team in Pacific throughout the whole year. And I think they were just generally a disappointment, even though throughout the middle of the season they made an addition of Stacks, who was pretty good, or who was really good for this team, stuff like that. They might have made another one in there. I don't think they did though. But yeah, just overall a disappointing year for T1, kind of setting up into maybe a little bit of a larger rebuild going into 2025. And my goal for this new roster is to be the best Korean team in 2025, be one of the teams representing Pacific at every single international event, and just be a really, really great roster. We will be adding some young talent into this team, so there is chance for misses on this team, but I think a lot of it is pretty solid players overall. Low-key pressed the stop recording button too early there, but whatever. But now getting into the players that we'll remove, we got Saya, Excurate, Rossi, and Carpe. The reason we're going away from Excurate and Rossi, even though they're good players, is I want to go full Korean with this roster. Mainly just because it makes the rebuild videos cooler, and also, um, I don't know. I think there's a lot of talent in Korea, so I want to kind of showcase those kind of players. These two players, I know Excurate does go to another team. I don't think Rossi does in my world, but I think he absolutely would deserve to. Um, and yeah, we'll get into more specifics on all of these players in a little bit, but honestly, outside of Saya player, I think the rest of them wouldn't be too surprising for most people. So yeah, we talked about Rossi and Excurate, just two very good players who ended up getting picked up by other teams. Wait, did Rossi get picked up? Oh, wait, did he go to C9? Hold on. I literally have the spreadsheet next to me. C9, nope. Huh? What did I mean going to other teams? I mean, Rossi does go to fucking C9 in real life, so um, that still works. So, I don't know. He's a very, very good player, but I'm going to go full Korean speaking with this team. And I just think the one issue with these two players, if you were to have one, is their agent pools aren't exactly the greatest. Extras is kind of like similar to Forsaken, but maybe a little bit worse or more towards like the controller side of things. And especially when he's IGLing on that stuff, he's very, very meh in terms of firepower. So, um, yeah, not ideal in terms of the agent pools, but I think they're two very, very good players. And if you can continue to expand those agent pools, then you're really talking with these two guys. Then you have Saya player, who I just think is such a selfish duelist player. I don't think he's like particularly good at the entrying kind of stuff, like the being able to dash in and create space for his teammates rather than sitting in B main with an op on ascent the whole time and waiting for somebody to peek him, or like I don't know, using his dash to like walk into an area on attack or something like that, which is just not how you should be using your jet dash. So I think he needs to transition to more of a like lurking sentinel role, because I mean that's what he started to play at the end of this year. He played a lot of chamber and a lot of sage in split 2, and I thought he looked a lot better when he was playing that kind of stuff. So I don't know, man. If a team could get him on that kind of role, I think he would be incredible. I was kind of surprised that what was it? Gen G didn't go with him. I thought that was a pretty like one-to-one comparison with Meteor, who was also a very selfish but mechanically talented duelist player that transitioned over to Sentinel under HSK and was very, very good. So I don't know. Go check out my America's Rebuild video if you want a little bit more analysis on Saya. I do talk about him there. He goes to one of the NA teams, I'll say. I won't give you any more information than that, though. So, yeah, just overall, a player who I think is pretty overrated on Duelist, but I think pretty underrated in terms of what he could potentially be on Sentinel. So, I'm not really going to spend too much time on Carpe, just a player that's going to be their sixth man in real life, and I don't really think anything more than that. But what we'll need for this team is a duelist, a scan initiator, a sentinel, and potentially an IGL if we want somebody to call instead of stacks. So our duelist options, we got Guanbong, Allow, and Akame. For initiators, you have Zest, Yeoman, Esperanza. For sentinels, you have Freeing and Jinbong. And then IGLs, it's really just Yeoman in Korea. Like you got the guys that are on teams right now, but other than that, you don't really got anybody else. So yeah, let's get into the guys that we picked up. So we're gonna start here with Jinbong, who got picked up by I believe DFM in real life. Um, he is just a fantastic Sentinel player. I think he's an amazing mechanical player. I don't think he really showed that in the offseason events with Zeta so far. But if you go back and watch some of his challengers games, I thought he was really, really good. Very like fundamentally sound in terms of just like the lurking and like crosshair placement and that kind of stuff. On attack side specifically, the anchoring could use a little bit of work, I think, especially when he's playing Killjoy, but that is, I think, the harder Sentinel agent to anchor on compared to Cypher. So He plays both very well. I just think out of the games I watched, he ended up playing more Killjoy uh, for any team in challengers or tier one. So just, I mean, a fantastic player. I think he has a lot of potential. And yeah, I'd be picking him up here if I was T1. Obviously, without Meteor being in the picture in this world, obviously in real life, I would be going for Meteor over Jinbone any day of the week. Then we have a player who was picked up by Gen G in real life. You have Yeoman, who I think has been a great IGL for whatever team he's been on since 2023. He's been a decent individual player, nothing great, like maybe about what you'd expect from an IGL. And I don't really think any Korean IGLs even close to him outside of the top two, being Mako and Munchkin. Obviously, maybe he's around Mako, because I don't think Mako's the greatest caller yet. He hasn't proven it a ton. Obviously, he made champs as a caller, but nothing more than that. And obviously, Munchkin is just by far the best IGL in Korea. But I think Yeoman is a clear number three, which when you don't have an IGL and you are looking, I mean, you can't really get Mako, you can't get Munchkin in this world, then obviously Yeoman has to be the player that you pick up here. I am gonna have him IGL over Stacks just because like I would rather have Stacks just farming in every game, like he was for T1 last year, than stick him on an IGL role. I just accidentally pressed that. Ignore that. Then stick him on an IGL role where he's not super comfortable. I also think this raises the ceiling of the team, both in the calling way and the individual skill way. So then finally, we have our duelist player who is Guanbong, who is Jinbong's brother, I believe. And they played together on the same team in tier two. And I don't think there were a great amount of duelist options ahead of Guanbong. Like it was maybe Akame, who I think is a flex player. He gets picked up by another team. Well, I think he's a flex player, as in like I think that's the role he should play. Obviously, I know he is a flex player, um, and like that's what he's currently playing. But whatever, you get the point. And I just think across the three main duelists, being Jet, Raze, Neon, I think he was pretty clearly the best out of the options that I had. So I ended up picking him up here. Should be pretty solid. He wasn't amazing or anything, but I think he's definitely an upgrade here over Saya or Izu on this duelist role. So our final roster here is Guanbong, Stacks, Yeoman, Izu, Jinbong, which I think should be pretty fun, both based on the brotherly connection of Guanbong and Jinbong, and the fact that you have Stacks playing this like flash initiator role, not having to IGL, where he's just been absurdly good, um, especially playing that breach and stuff like that. I think if you can get Stacks to play like some of the KO, maybe some Fade as well, and Yeoman to play a little bit like some flash stuff here and there, or one of the two to play some Viper or something. I don't know exactly. Like you'd have to have somebody who can play the Viper in the double controller comps and that kind of stuff, or some of the Harbor. I don't know exactly how the meta is going to work out this year. Um, but just to have a full fleshed out roles, I think either Stacks or Yeoman needs to pick up some kind of new role. It would probably end up being Yeoman, but I think they can do that. So if you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think of this roster in the comments below. Make sure to check out my stream tomorrow where I'll be ranking every player that has been rumored, not rumored, maybe leaked or announced to any tier one team. So yeah, go check that out. Links in the description. I'll be tweeting out the link when the stream goes live. Go follow that. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.